Oh, did you see that thing with Fox Sports? So
What?
this chick with the hairstylist,
Mhm.
people doing. That's why I said this is the year to crash out, right? So so she's like, yeah, this dude to sleep with me and was gonna give me $1.5 million. I was like, bitch,
One
you
point
didn't
nine,
spread it
one point
open
five
right.
million.
Shit didn't get wet right there when he said 1.5 million.
Yeah, that's like what?
But she was like, yeah, and she thought, oh, okay, he was joking maybe the first time.
Right.
I'm like, all right, bitch, you being stupid now. But she's like, he comes out a week later and says it again. It's like, oh wait, aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your father have like 3 or 4 wives? And her father is dead. So she was like, no, he's dead. And then she made some excuse to leave. So she files a lawsuit against him, right?
Right.
Like, I'm like, oh girl, good. Get your comeuppance, right?
Right.
But
That's
then she goes to be like, oh yeah, by the way, the fucking bitch that's the news anchor has been sleeping with the VP. Bitch, wait, what?
damn.
Why the fuck would you bring that bitch in there? She didn't have nothing to do with this shit.
She
Totally
needed
throw
to
this
bring
next bitch
somebody in
underneath
there.
the bus. Because
Yep.
when I was watching, no, when I was watching somebody explain the story, I'm like, oh, word, yep, yep. And then all of a sudden, and then she states in the lawsuit that this bitch was sleeping with this person and this person and this person. And I'm like,
Damn. So they try to catch her.
why would she bring her up?
Yep. Tell her
Like,
she
damn.
did that on purpose automatically.
Yeah, she probably didn't like that bitch.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I was like, well, Fox Sports, y'all going down. Because
Yeah.
I think the person that proposition was Skip,
Hmm.
the one that does the Shannon Sharp show with him, with Shannon
Oh yeah.
on Fox Sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Skip. And then the
Um,
chick that, because the Muslim chick, she doesn't look like Middle Eastern. She looks like, when the way she presents herself in the world, she looks white. Like she has blonde hair. She doesn't wear hijab or anything like that. And she wears like regular clothes. So,
so,
it's misleading
yeah, it
to
is.
like other people. So she looks white. Then now the chick that she mentioned is mixed. Well, she looks ambiguous, where you can't really put your finger on it. Like like you could tell she's black, but you just can't tell what else she's mixed with, right?
Right.
So she's very pretty, very busty. I was like,
Mm.
yo, you bringing out a bad bitch. But she done fucked her way to the top just with some other bitch to snitch on her. What type of shit is that?
Yeah, that's yeah.
For
You know her,
society.
you know me, probably wrinkly ass cock. She probably had a hocked on. Come on, man.
Get out here, man. Get out.
Oh my
I'm just
god.
saying. That's messed up. I was like, damn, this bitch probably was sitting up there listening to her Will Smith CD, minding her business and shit.
Will
And all of
Smith
a sudden,
CD.
it's fucking sudden, this bitch bringing her name up and shit. Like,
Oh my
Nah, nah,
god.
nah, nah,
Nah,
nah,
nah,
nah. I
nah,
can't
nah.
jiggy with it, man.
Getting
yeah, for
jiggy with
sure.
it. Summer, summer,
She gonna be getting jiggy
summertime.
with it down to the unemployment line.
Yep. She gonna
That's
get
crazy.
jiggy with it, doing a Harlem Shake on our way to the
Yeah, she'll
unemployment
take
line.
that, take that, take that.
Where
You know what I say about that? You know what I say about that?
this man?
Oh my, so predictable.
I know.
I was like, yo, I said, damn, I thought we left like it's frozen 24. But I said, this shit's crazy. This year of the snake.
Yep.
I was born underneath a good sign. I was born underneath the year of the rabbit. That means I'm gentle and pink horse. That means I'm a gentle soul.
Oh. Well, I mean, you are though.
Am I? People be like, yo, you a bitch. I'd be like, well, yeah, yeah, so is your mother, but
Yeah. Yep. There you go. See, that's a gentle soul right there.
yeah, so
As someone with a
gentle.
gentle soul would say.
Yeah, like a bag of razor blades.
Yep. Bag of razor blades. That's get them while
Fuck
they're
like
sharp.
that. Yeah, right? Like uncovered and everything.
Yeah.
And Russ, hope you got a tetanus shot.
Oh shit. That is too funny.
But yeah, I had to beat your friend because he didn't want to go to sleep. Now he's quiet as a mouse.
Oh, now he's really quiet.
Yeah,
Oh,
now he really sleeping.
he's
He's
just
like,
knocked out.
oh, yeah, because the shit that he was pulling last night, this Chris came downstairs like, yo, I heard him all the way upstairs. I'm like, yeah, he's mad loud. And I gave him a bath.
Mhm.
I sprayed some melatonin spray, like some lavender vanilla spray. And I'm like, yeah, lay down. And he did good yesterday for his nap. He went down. He struggled a little bit today, but he didn't give me enough as much problems as he gives me at nighttime. He always just wants to play. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro. they said like wild tart cherry juice. Yo, I
Mm.
went to like I think like Whole Foods or some shit to get that because I couldn't find it nowhere when I was in Brooklyn, and I bought that shit. It was like $9, and that shit did not work. I was like, I was so mad, and that shit was disgusting.
You bought it at Whole Foods?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah,
yeah. Remember those cookies? What we were playing yesterday, and I was telling you about them cookies
yeah. Which one?
from Trader Joe's. Trader
Oh
Joe's got
yeah,
these bomb out. Yo, I just had my baby daddy pick 3 of them shits and mail it to me. I said it's snowing, bitch. I'm like, I can't pick it to.
yeah. Nah, that's true.
He's like, he said he had to pick me up some stuff. He had to send me stuff anyway that he had stuff at Comic Con. Today was his birthday. I was like, let me send him a little $50.
Oh, okay. That's
Right
actually cool.
here.
The first year, I mean, the first month of the year already.
Yep, that's what I was saying. I'm like, yo, and then on top of that, like, damn, well, in a couple of minutes, it's gonna be fucking like a whole week into the new year. It didn't even feel like that.
Damn, that's so true. Holy shit.
It don't, it don't feel like it. No, it's
Yeah.
already after 12. It's already the next
I feel
day.
like it's still only like the second day of the of January. You feel me?
Yeah,
Like,
for real. And
is it?
yesterday felt like a weekday. I
Yeah.
was like, yo, like, I don't know why. I was like, why this Sunday? It's like, I keep forgetting it's Sunday. I'm like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, that threw me off too. Like that really threw me off because I really feel like the year has just started and we're already, like you said, we're about 7 days in already. It is wild
Already.
to think about. We're 7 days into the new year and it feels like we've
Yeah,
only been here for like 2 days already.
I'm like, damn. I was like, what is happening? Because I was like, Carrie ain't got no school no more tomorrow. So I mean, well, today, she'll be
Hmm.
home today. But then on top of that, like, just went to work in this stupid ass weather.
Oh
Why
yeah.
was his site the only fucking one open up in Maryland?
Oh damn. Yeah.
He said 15 people came in today.
15?
And he said half of them left early.
Of course they did. Yep, of course.
And he said nobody from management was.
Nope. I bet. I bet. They all took the day off.
Yeah, because every place they gave them some hotline to call,
Hmm.
but but all the other warehouses, and it's like just in like driving distance, because a lot of the warehouses are like 10 minutes apart,
Right.
right? So like we cover like maybe 6 warehouses. Do you tell me out of 6 warehouses just in Hagerstown?
Hmm.
That's only in Hagerstown we're talking about. In those 6 warehouses, 5 of them were closed, and y'all decided to be the only ones open.
Yeah.
And HRG6 is a fulfillment center, is a fulfillment center for other fulfillment centers.
What the hell?
So why the fuck are y'all open
Why are
if the other
y'all
sites
open?
are closed?
That's true.
What are y'all fulfilling?
It's like my site. My site was open only because we are inside of Whole Foods, which makes it essential. And I hate that. I really
That's why
hate
you
that.
always look like you at the Hawaiian Starbucks?
Yep. Yep. My base is right inside Whole Foods. We at the counter sites.
Oh, that shit sound mad dope though.
Nah, it
Because
is.
Whole Foods low key be having some good ass food at the food bar.
No, yeah, their food be
Some healthy
whew,
shit.
their food
Y'all
be
get
banging.
discounts in there too? Like on the food?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, they just
Yeah.
started doing the Whole Foods discount this year actually.
Oh,
So
word. I heard. Oh, wasn't we supposed to be getting like Prime for
Prime
free?
for free, yep. That starts this month too. So I'm ready to get that. As soon as that shit pops up, Prime for
For
free.
real.
That tells you how fast time has been going lately. Hell yeah. It's been going
Yeah,
Speedy
because it was just in
Gonzalez.
October they were talking about that. Yeah, but that's what I was saying. Like, I was like, yo, and he was like, oh, he took VTO for tomorrow. I said, I bet you would after 15 fucking people showed up. They
Hmm.
might as well not even be open.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
I was,
And now this week, like it's been a little crazy here in Texas because like today was 11 degrees and then it's going to be raining on Wednesday,
oh,
which
wow.
Texas, their
I
roads is
didn't know you guys.
horrible.
I didn't know you guys get wet like that low.
Nah, yeah, January and February, I noticed like since I've been here, their weather is like New York weather. Like they really go down there.
Yeah, they they be talking about New York.
Yep.
That nigga, they was like that shit is either cold or hot.
Yeah, that's freaking. We got 11 degrees this morning, and then the car almost didn't turn on. So I was like, "Oh shit!" Now I gotta get an oil change on my car too, because that makes it even harder for this car to turn on too. And then once this Wednesday is it's gonna rain, and then on Thursday it's gonna snow. So over here in Texas, they don't know anything about like how New York and other states do it. They put salt on the roads and all this other stuff. They
Yeah.
just learning about that. You feel me? Like I feel
Oh my
like
God.
that's why they had a whole
Motherfuckers gotta
big
go for
pile up.
training and shit.
Yeah,
Oh Lord.
like Texas had that big pile up was like 3 years ago or 4 years ago because they have no salt on the roads, nothing on the roads to like give the tires some grip, and so they had that major pile, 100 car pile up like 4 years ago, and then from there I believe they learned, so they started putting salt every year after that now. So now they know the definition of what keeps the car, stable on the road.
Yeah, for real. Cause I
Cause
know I usually just like keep a bag of cat litter in the car, like
hmm
when it's the winter time, your de-icer, shit like that.
yeah.
Cause I was thinking about maybe putting like, they have the thing for the tires, the chain.
Oh yeah, the
I
chains,
was
yeah.
thinking about, yeah, I was thinking about ordering that shit off of Amazon and putting it on it. But Amazon, they not even really delivering like that either. Because when I was trying to order something,
hmm
it was saying it wasn't gonna come till Friday.
Oh shit, really?
Yep. I ordered my niece a PlayStation 5 controller, but her shit was coming overnight. They was like, oh, 4 to 8 a.m. And
Mm,
then when I tried to order that same remote here, they was like, oh, Friday. Most everything was saying Friday. I was looking up containers for like Q-tips and stuff. It was
yeah.
like Friday. I was looking at random shit just to see when it was going, and mostly everything said it was gonna come Friday. Something said it was gonna come like Saturday. So I know because even the post office was saying like a lot of the stuff was gonna be delayed in like certain states
Right.
because of the snowstorm.
Right.
Because it snowed in New York, but not bad.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like crazy, crazy.
No, it wasn't like it was here. Because I
Mm,
think we got like 5 inches or
damn.
more.
Yeah, I mean,
So it,
when it consider anything upstate New York, like away from the city or the five boroughs, it's like, yeah, you're gonna get hit hard regardless. Like I feel like
yeah,
because
because it's always bad. Like even
yeah,
when like they be like, oh, we're gonna get snow, we won't get it. But like random places like fucking Long Island will get hit
oh yeah,
bad,
Long Island,
and
yeah,
then like fucking upstate New York will get hit bad.
yeah, upstate,
But the
Deer
tri-state
Park,
wouldn't.
yeah, tri-state, nah, tri-state, they got it really good too. Even the boroughs like Brooklyn, Queens, sometimes they get it hard too. Don't know like
Yeah,
really
for
bad,
real.
but yeah, but but it's not
Yeah, like
like upstate New York, where freaking
yeah,
power
because it was
goes
like
out.
one time where it was bad,
Mm,
and I think it snowed like 2 days straight and shit, and it was bad because like I had to like keep going out and shoveling the sidewalk, shoveling like the driveway. Then I would have
mm,
to go out and shovel out around my car
right.
because they would tilt the snow piles to the right, and then the snow that they pushing, it would just like be on the side of your car, and once that shit turned to ice, you're
hmm
fucked. You
Yeah,
ain't gonna be able to open up your door.
that's true.
So I
That's
would have to keep shoveling out my car and stuff like that. So it was just like New York. Like my dad used to be like, he parking in the driveway and nobody else parked there.
that's true.
So I used to have to shovel around his car and stuff like that so nobody bust their ass
Yeah.
insulted because somebody fell one time in the snow,
Mm,
like on the block, and they tried to sue the homeowner. I
yep.
was like, first off, bitch,
Yep.
the sidewalk is the state of New York's property,
Yep.
not mine.
That's the tricky part. That's the shit you always gotta be careful when it snows, and like you own a house or one of those duplexes or a complex there. That's they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I fell on your property, so I'm suing you. I'm like, no, you're supposed to sue the
Yeah,
state of New York, not me. You know what I'm
for
saying?
real.
But they want to put the whole blame on you because they're like, oh well, it's your property. You should take care of it. You should ensure that salt is on the floor. But at the
Yeah,
same
that's just like
time,
a
it's
tree
like,
fell and
right.
damaged the car, and they tried to sue the homeowner, and the homeowner was panicking, and I
Mhm.
was like, "Girl, I'm gonna save you some time. Tell that bitch bye, and tell her." I was like, first off, those trees are the states of New York. They're not. They're like so. We had a tree, we cut it down, right?
Right.
Somebody snitched, so the Department of Parks came, and we seen them.
Mhm.
My dad was cementing the grass where the tree was. Like we seen them and we couldn't make sense of it. And then all of a sudden, my cousin, she lives across the street. She owns the garden at the end of my block.
Mhm.
So she comes, rings the doorbell, and she was like, "Have you seen this?" And it's basically like a flyer saying, "Do you know what happened to this tree?
What the hell?
Contact, yes."
Wow.
That's a $15,000 fine
Yeah.
for cutting down the city tree. So like cause like we've cut the tree before, like we pruned it and stuff
Right.
because it was hitting the house and it was hanging over. And I told my dad like it's hanging over too low over the cars. When it snows, it could break and fall on somebody's car.
Yeah, true.
My dad was tired of it because he fucking couldn't stand it because the roots were breaking the concrete. Because somebody fell in front of my, like right between my neighbors and
Mhm.
our, like where, so my neighbor doesn't have a gate, but we had a gate.
Mhm.
So right where my gate ends, it was a crack because the roots of the tree was so big, it was literally going into the sewer and shit. So it broke the concrete up. And
Uh,
the city of New York didn't give a shit about that. That's your problem.
yep. Yep. At
You
the end
fix
of the
that.
day, that's true.
So my neighbor had to put like cement and make it like a slant. So now it's not even and raise it up. So he just made a little slant with some cement. And somebody fell and tried to sue him.
Wow.
But that tree belongs to the city. They have numbers on all those trees.
Yeah, they
And a
do.
bunch of people cut their trees down. They
They
gave
really
pic
do.
and because we were watching, I was like, what the fuck is she doing? Because she was recording and taking pictures and just standing across the street. And we couldn't make sense of it. And you mind your business. You ain't gonna ask her like, oh, what are you doing? And so then she also went to other neighbors and gave them paperwork to try to inquire about. It was like something you fill out to inquire about the tree. Because my neighbor got one and she came over and she was like, "Oh, like Ebony, look at this. Like they're trying to figure out like something about your tree." It wasn't even the flyer, it was like a whole form. I
I
was
see.
like, "Oh my God." I was like, "Who the fuck told them that we cut the tree down?"
Right.
Snitches.
Yep. Snitches. Like one of the things,
My
like,
dad was tight.
no, I don't blame them. Yeah, I really don't blame them. The snitches, especially right here, like, hey, one of the things I hate that I noticed right now. This is my first time being around HOA,
Hmm.
and HOA is horrible. I feel like they don't do anything, even though we pay, a little extra for them. So,
Hmm. Yeah,
like when it
true.
comes to like gardening and stuff like that, like we have a whole garden back there, but we're restricted right now, so we can't use water to like water our plants or like wash a car or do anything like that, because Texas is
What?
on a restriction mode. And meanwhile, they're building apartment complexes across the streets from us. So it's like, or the next little housing complex around. And I'm like, okay, so you're restricting water from us, but yet you're building more, so it's going to be more restricted. So make it make sense. It just makes no sense to me how you would want
Yeah,
us
you
to.
gotta go to those meetings and stuff that they be
Yeah,
doing.
it just makes no sense because we're paying extras, for this type of service just to like be like, all right, well, why should we pay even more? And you're not justifying what we're paying for. You know,
That's
it.
so true because like I don't know if you watched Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. You should totally watch it. It's
Mhm,
like he did this whole thing on HOAs
mhm.
and he was like, yeah, like there was this lady and she lived in the HOA and she painted her blind her what's it called the ones that's outside. Is it blinders or something
Oh,
like that?
the
Shutters, her
yeah,
shutters.
shutters. Yeah.
She painted her shutters a different color. The HOA went over there and gave her a fine.
Yep.
He was like, if you don't pay your HOA fees, they can they can literally foreclose on your house.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. That's very
I
true.
was like, these motherfuckers are like the devil. Like
That's why I
I
told
was like, oh
myself
hell no.
next house we get, we're not doing HOA. We're trying to like stay away from HOA and just have a solid place where it's legitimately ours. Because I feel like we're still restricted when it comes to HOA, even though
Hmm.
it's our house, our property, but still it's technically HOAs at the same time because
Yeah,
we're
because I know over here you can't. There's certain flowers you can't plant. You can't
right,
plant
correct.
in the
Yep.
front. I was
Hmm.
like, oh my god.
There's flowers and they gotta be but so high, you can't make them grow. You have to
Yep.
cut them at a certain point.
There's certain flowers, it's certain like shrubs they
Mm-hmm.
have to have
Yep.
every house because I noticed like every house has it like, and I think it's tulips that they're only allowed to have in the front because that's what I've always been seeing like, and especially since I've been here with like a full summer,
Yeah,
like I noticed like every house has like these red tulips, and I'm
that's
like,
true. Yep. And then obviously the fences, you can't really do anything else with them.
there's no fences on none of these shit. Like they have fences like in the back,
Hmm.
but like in the front, there's no fences.
Damn, you ain't got no fences? What the hell?
No, they don't have no fences.
Oh shit.
Like that because it's like a big patch of grass.
Hmm.
Then it's the next house, and then it's like, and some houses is not like that. Like when you come in the cul-de-sac,
Yeah.
it almost is shaped like a U within another U. So like you
Mm.
can turn off at the first stop sign and go in further, and then it will lead you to a dead end, and then you could go up again to the second stop sign, go around like a U, and come out that way, and then you go past it and you go around. It's like a dead end on that
Oh,
way, and that's where we're at. So it's all like just houses within there, and it's just it's so weird.
yeah.
Like I was just like, oh my God. I was like, I can't stay here. Like I
Yeah.
was like, I just can't live here. Like not in this state. Like where my brother's at, he has like a really, really big house. And it's like a lot of like it's like a house could fit in the space where his like where the next house starts. Like
I
people
see.
got like big pools in their backyard, like in the ground type pools. So he has a lot of land there. And I was like, I wanted to go live in North Carolina because
Mm.
he's there. My other brother's gonna move down there where he transfers. He's waiting to finish all this stuff up with my dad and my mom's estate, and then he's coming down
Right.
and then to North Carolina. So I was just like, I don't want to invest and like buy a house down here. I was like, I'd rather just down there,
Yeah,
but it is
that's a good
too much.
idea.
I was like, oh my God. But it is cheaper to live here than it is in Maryland. Maryland is
Yeah.
more expensive.
That's another thing too. Yeah, because we were thinking about moving to somewhere close, like either Maryland or we was thinking about Chicago, Seattle. But then we thought about it and we're like, damn, that's like almost living back in New York, you know? So it's like,
Yeah, they're really expensive. But like
yeah,
certain places in Maryland isn't, but like a good place to live is like Pennsylvania.
right, right. Pennsylvania, I heard is actually good.
Yep,
Um,
my friend, she lives in Pennsylvania, but she's actually 3.5 hours away from me,
mm,
and I'm only 5 hours from New York. And I was like, bitch, from your house to New York, it's like
mm-hmm,
6 hours. Like she's like, oh,
yep.
you will come see me, bitch? No,
So like one of my
I'm three and a
friends
half hours
here,
away.
one of my friends here, Demarcus, shout out to Demarcus. He lives 5 hours away from me, and mind you, Texas is that big where it takes about 9 hours to get out of Texas. So he's in the borderline of probably like right next to the border where you're leaving Texas. So in order for me to get to him, because he be wanting to hang out, and I'm just like, I would have to literally
You got
plan
to
it out.
meet me halfway.
I would literally have to plan it out because if I go over
You're like,
there,
you gotta go fucking get a hotel room and
yep,
shit. It's like,
yeah,
this
literally,
is wow.
yeah.
Imagine being white boy wasted and then having to drive 5 fucking hours
Word.
like
Oh
back
nah,
home.
yeah.
It's
We
like,
have any
nah, I'm gonna
type
have
of
to get a hotel.
celebration, any type of like birthday party celebration or anything festive, I would be like, yo, okay, I'm gonna have to crash at your house because there ain't no way I'm gonna
Yeah, there
drive
ain't no
five
fucking
hours
way
back.
shit gonna be over at 1, 2 in the morning and I'm gonna drive home. Okay,
Yeah,
no.
nah, that's true. That is that is
Bro, you
crazy.
gonna have to meet me halfway.
Yep.
That's what I was telling my niece and my nephew. I'm like, oh, y'all gonna have to meet me in like PA or something.
Mm.
Because I'm like, what, an hour from PA?
Oh,
But
you're
then I'm like, then I was like, if I meet them in Philly, then I'm like, maybe 3 hours away,
yeah. So that's why,
like
yeah.
from the house. So that's why I told them, like, oh, y'all can meet me in Philly because they live in New Jersey, my niece and my nephew.
Right.
And I was telling like, oh, just meet me. I'm like, it's like I think it's like an hour, maybe and a half.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, just meet me over there and stuff like that, and I'll drive the rest. And then I'm like, we'll separate, like maybe like 5 o'clock, meet up early, get brunch or something, do some something like an activity or something and then just separate.
Yeah.
Or we could just get a hotel and just chill out there and then leave it. You know, I was
Yeah.
telling them I don't have a problem going to New York and I could stay with them if I was to go to New York.
Right.
Well, to Jersey, but I was just like, but that's like 5 hours. I got kids. I don't really like. They're good if I'm not here, but I was like, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Usually, I take my kids when I go to New York,
Hmm.
and it was like one time I didn't because I had to go to like 2 funerals that week.
Oh wow.
So like my aunt died and my sister-in-law's sister died. And so the
Wow.
funeral, my aunt's funeral was Monday,
Mhm.
and then Tuesday was the burial, and then Wednesday was nothing, and then Thursday and Friday was my sister-in-law's funeral and burial.
Damn.
And then I ended up just leaving Saturday. I was like, oh my God.
That's tough. That's a lot right there. On back to back like that. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
yeah.
and then mind you, 6 months before that, this was 2023. And
Mm.
like 6 months before that, my dad died. And then
Oh
she
wow.
died like my dad died in March, and then she died in November.
Wow. Really sorry to hear that. That's
And now
wild.
it's only two of them left out of 11.
Jesus. You know how crazy
I,
that I can imagine how crazy that would have felt right there.
yeah, because like everybody started crying because like
Mhm.
when my dad died, because only my aunt and my uncle left. And when my dad died, my uncle broke down in the car because he's a bishop, so he proceeded over like the funeral. He didn't really say much, but you know how they have that fellowship with other bishops from other churches, like
Mm.
some people from Mississippi and Alabama came and Texas.
Right.
They came up to speak at, my dad's service on behalf of him. But then we went to the burial, we went to he was in the army, so we had went to Calverton and did the ceremony there at the military burial ground. And then after we did that, he just was like, he's like, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God.
That's too much.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was just like, that's what he said. He says it's too much.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I can imagine how you felt too,
Like,
because
damn.
that's too
I was
wet.
like, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, that right there, that's hurtful. Because I know.
Yeah, because he's like, how many more siblings I'm gonna have to put in the ground?
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus, because he did like most of their services.
Damn.
He's been a bishop for like over 30 something years or more
So he's seen everything come and go.
there. And so and I'm like, well, you ain't got to do much. You only got one sibling left.
Yeah. True. 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 Damn.
And I was like, that shit is crazy. I said, damn, out of 11 or for all y'all going. Because even
You
my
said out of
grandmother's last year,
how many? Uh,
11.
damn. Whoa.
Yeah, it was 11 of
Damn.
then like even like my aunt, she died in 2022. And then my dad died in March 23, and then and my aunt in November. So that's why I was saying everything was so close. It was getting
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy.
It was still back
We were
to
like, well,
back.
what the fuck is going on? I was like, will y'all just stop fucking dying, please?
Yeah. I feel that. I feel
And two
that.
of them had cancer and they didn't say nothing.
Oh shit.
So like how my aunt that just passed, like she had cancer, she didn't say nothing like before
Mhm.
because I guess they told her quote unquote that she didn't have it or whatever.
Right.
But then she got sick. She went to the hospital, and then she ended up having the same cancer, back cancer in her back, in her spine, the same way my other aunt died. We said, what the hell?
Oh nah, that's crazy. And then you didn't find out till after?
We found out like maybe like 3 weeks before she passed.
Damn.
Because they discharged her. She went to a rehab center. She came out,
Right.
and then that week she was out, that's when she died.
Mm.
It was like, oh my God. I was like, this is crazy. Because, like, my family is, like, very secretive. So,
Yeah.
like, not everybody, but that generation, like my dad's siblings, they're very secretive. So, like, if they're sick, they won't say nothing. They may tell each other, but they're not going to tell their kids.
Right. Because they don't want to burden them with that.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like, but it just be like, fuck, like, you don't give nobody the opportunity to do nothing. I
Right.
was like, I don't give a fuck what none of y'all motherfuckers say. I was like, when my dad was in the hospital and them niggas was telling me, oh, he only got a couple months, and then 2 weeks later, it turned into oh, he only got a couple of
Couple weeks.
weeks. Then that
Mm,
shit turned into later on that week. That
yeah.
shit turned into, you know, putting him in the hospice. Then then he was about to go to hospice. I had to pick a hospice for him.
Mm,
I found one. They were gonna put him in there, and then they literally told me like Friday. They was like, we don't think he's gonna make it there. They was like, we don't think he's gonna be able to make it.
oh my God.
And I was like, wait, what? And then they were like, oh, the medications is hurting his kidneys, his liver, this, that, and the third. Some of his functions is stopping. I took him off the medicine. They deactivated his defibrillator because he had do not resuscitate.
Right.
So they asked me, and I was like, okay, because I was his health proxy.
Right.
Then Sunday he died. And it was crazy how that happened because I was playing Fortnite
Mm,
and I was playing with my neighbor that lived right next door to me. And I was like, yo, I was like, oh shit, it's like 7 o'clock. I was like, yo, let me go take a shower and shit. I'm gonna go run up and see my dad.
right.
Then Connor came downstairs like literally like 10 minutes later.
Mm,
And I was like, oh, let me give him a bath. And then I ended up like washing his hair and blow drying it and stuff. I was
mm,
so fucking tired. I was like, oh, I was like, I'm gonna lay down, I'm gonna go see him later. 10 minutes after I fell asleep, my brother woke me up. He's like, Ebony. I'm like, what? Like, oh, that was the hospital. I'm like, what? They was like, he died. Like,
mm,
but I had prepared myself for it
right.
and stuff like that because it was like a month of this. Like he had
Uh,
went in like the last week of February he had went in because I had started phlebotomy classes and on that Monday, that Saturday he went into the hospital. So
uh,
he was there for like a month.
right.
And then it was nothing was getting better. Like at first they said he was getting a little bit better and stuff like that.
Mm,
Then it wasn't. So it was kind of like I was preparing myself. Like I wasn't hoping for it, but I was kind of mentally preparing
yeah.
myself for it.
Yeah. Mm,
And the only time like I really cried was like when I saw him when like because you could go see the body and stuff like that.
right.
So I went to go see him and stuff, and I was really like when I was crying because I guess his mouth was open and they had the gauze around it, and I was just like, oh my God, I was just like, and
Did
then
you?
you just start thinking like, how did we get here?
Right. Right. Yeah.
But
That's the
that's
main thing you
life.
could think about. Yeah. It's like once you see that happening, it's like, how did we get here? You know?
Yeah, it was just like you were just laughing and stuff like
Hmm.
that, and then now you're not here no more, and that's just really what it was. And I was just like, I had to just remember the good times and not feel too sad about it and stuff like that. Like
Right.
I would usually cry when other people would cry. Like
Right.
I got up and spoke
Hmm.
and stuff like that. People wasn't expecting me to get up and be able to form words, but like I'm an emotional person, but it
Hmm.
doesn't break me. It's like the little things. Like I'm sitting over there. I was in the supermarket and I saw some bush beans. That's my last name.
Right.
But my dad used to always eat them. He'd be like, I'm gonna eat in the poor man's supper, and that's like franks and beans and sauerkraut, because that's
Mhm.
what. So he used to eat that almost every Saturday or whatever. But I saw a can of beans and I started crying. And then
Mm,
like when I was driving down here to move here,
yeah.
I started crying because he used to call me and aggravate the shit out of me. Oh, did you get there? Oh, did you get gas? Little shit like that.
Right.
Like it would get to me, but not big events like his funeral and the burial and stuff like that. Like I was crying, but I wasn't like completely breaking down.
Right.
Like I even had to go to the church because it was Sunday when he died, and they all were at church because my uncle has a church. They all were there. Like my cousins go there, my aunt goes there, her husband goes there, my uncle's daughter goes there, my
Mhm.
cousins go there. So when I went there, they knew something was up when they
Uh,
saw me. And then they were like, "Oh, what happened?" Like my cousin told me first, and he was like, "Yo, Ed," he's around my age, so he's like, "Yo, Ed, like, what's up?" And I'm like, nah, cuz. And he was like, "Don't say it, cuz." And I was like, "Yeah, he didn't make it." And then that's when I had to tell my aunt, and she was in the back crying, and my uncle saw me off the pulpit,
yeah.
but he didn't have his glasses on, so he was like, he thought, and he was when he came to see the body, he said he thought he saw me and he had a bad feeling. And my cousin came out the back door and came around to the front to pull me aside to ask me like, what was going on while I was there.
Yeah.
And I told them because you only had like 2 hours. So I had to
Oh,
tell them because,
yeah.
everybody would have their phone off.
Right. True.
So I was just like, oh my God. And then niggas is like my father's son. He went and fucking was texting people that shit. They didn't even call them and tell them it was texting. I was like, yo, this nigga's fucking diabolical. I was like, I'd not literally be like, this nigga's an agent of chaos. I was like, cause I was like,
Agent of
how do you text
chaos.
somebody that shit?
Yeah, nah, that's true. We always have to have one in the family like that, though. It's fucking
Do
wild.
we like
It's
get rid of
yeah,
them
it's
for
wild.
real?
Yeah, it's wild because I have one just like that, and it's just like, and my one of my best friends, he has one just like that too. So it's like, I feel like we all have that, and I hate that.
Yeah, I hate that for us. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Like I was like because I was even talking to my niece and that's her father and I was telling her like, yo, she was like, yeah, no, I understand, auntie. Like some of the shit he be saying is crazy and I didn't even ask her what it was. And I was sort of like, I'm not even mad at him, like because and it's not about like, forgiveness and shit like that, because I'm not a Christian. I don't believe forgiveness is for you and not for the other person, no. Because
Mhm.
if that was the case, I wouldn't need to say it to them. But I
Right.
digress.
Right. Right. Right.
I
Makes
digress
sense.
from that but I just told her, I was just like, there's just some things. She was just like, oh no. She's like, y'all need to stop saying that. I was like, no, I'm when I tell you that I'm really good on him, on your father, I'm telling you I'm good. I don't need to have a conversation. We was never in a relationship. I don't need no closure. Why do we need to talk about the past or anything that passed that happened when we tell you the truth and you don't believe us? Then there's no room for a conversation.
Right.
So I said, I'm like, I'm good. She's like, no, people say that. No, when I said, believe me, when I tell you, I'm good.
Right.
Because I said, when I come to grips and to terms with something, I'm not revisiting it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing no explaining. I'm not talking about shit. I'm good. I'm where I'm at. And I was like, I'm not gonna entertain that. So I was like, and you'll learn that later on in life when you go through things that will lead you to the same thing. Sometimes you just have to be good on people. Just like you don't have to forgive, you don't have to forget. You just have to be at a space where the things that they do don't bother you. And when you have to get to the point where you're basically saying fuck them, because
Correct.
that's how you really come to that place. And I
Right.
was like, when I tell you, it's because I'm like, if it's fuck you, if it's fuck me, then it's fuck you.
Correct. Yeah.
And I said, this year, like, I tell you, ain't this is the year nobody's playing in my face.
Right.
You doing all this rah rah dumb shit. When I get up on Facebook and start talking about you by name and calling you out, you're gonna be mad. Stop playing with me.
Hmm. That's
Like
the truth. Yeah.
that's why I be like, that's what, and I tell her like, you believe me, you're gonna be good on people. You're gonna have to learn to like not even love people from afar, because that's giving you too much grace.
Yeah. It is.
And I'm
That's
sorry, and I'm not built that way. I'm not loving you from afar. Fuck that shit.
yeah.
When
It,
they go low, go straight to hell.
yep. You're right though.
So
I
I
feel
just
that
leave shit
motion.
alone.
Yeah. I definitely feel that motion because it's truth. Because
Because like the only way you can get to that space is when when you have closure with yourself. Because I'm like, I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I know the things that he's saying is not true. Like I told my niece, like the way he feel, it's not our problem.
right.
That's not his siblings' problem. The people he has those issues with are dead and gone.
Right.
So you projecting that shit on us and then having suspicions and then thinking people are lying because you're literally asking people that maybe don't have the same information as one person has, asking them questions and then trying to like line everybody's story up.
Right.
You're looking for shit at that point. You're looking for something to be upset about,
Yep.
something to argue about. So, and then you got what you wanted because Robert thought something that wasn't the case. And then he asked me something and I told him my truth. And
Hmm.
then he's just like, oh, and then I had to call Robert and be like, Robert, why would you say that to him? That's not, he's like, oh, well, I didn't know. And I'm like, that's why you need to stop talking to him because
Mm.
it's fishing for information. Now look what happened. Now he cursing me out, calling
Right.
me, being, oh, yeah, you being money hungry. I'm like, how am I being money hungry?
And
I
that's
was like, see,
and that's the thing too, right? It's like the whole bunch of he say she say stuff. That's why I like to have stuff in writing and black and white, which makes it even better.
That's why
Cause
you gotta have a will or a living trust
yep.
or something because like my dad, he didn't do that and he just left it out. Like I was in
Hmm.
charge of, I was on his bank account, so the money in there became my money, and I had to pay the mortgage,
Right.
and I had to, live because I wasn't working. I was
Yeah.
pregnant.
Hmm.
So I'm like, you know, I used the money
Right.
like as I'm obligated and I can do. So I didn't need to explain that to anybody, but I explained it to two of my brothers and they knew and they didn't have a problem with it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, because he didn't know about the money in the account and it's that there is a problem, but you didn't need to know about it because me and you don't have that rapport. That's one. Second of all, I'm not obligated to tell you anything because I don't have to. And then third of all, you're not handling any type of business. So why would I tell you? Those
True.
lawyers' fees came from that money to pay for the lawyer. The money for the funeral came from that money. The money for to pay the mortgage and the utilities came from that money. Like we're enclosing on the house. Like if I had not paid the mortgage, you would not have been able to sell anything except for your app. Like it would like what was you thinking? Because my whole thing was like nobody was putting money down for that house.
Right.
The mortgage was almost $3,000 a month. Nobody was paying that.
Nah. Heck no.
So now if my dad had not had nobody count, that would have been all caught up in the estate.
Right. And
And the
that's
estate just got settled like in March. So
damn.
we were already been a year behind him. You talking about $30,000. I mean
Yeah.
$36,000.
That's deep. That's freaking
So
that's
it was
deep.
just like you don't know these things, and you knowing them, it's not gonna make it easy because all you're gonna do is have more questions and try to press people for more information, and then have more things to say
Right.
than what you would have had. So I'm like, what would be the point of you knowing? That's why I told Robert, don't give him a death certificate. Gave him the death certificate, and he went and called Fidelity with it. I was like, see, Robert, this is why I told you don't fucking trust this nigga. You don't listen to me. But I'm on my period all the time, right? I'm being dramatic, right? It's because I'm a woman.
It's because I'm a
Exactly. And that's what he used to think. He used to think, oh, you're being dramatic, oh, you over exaggerate. And then they saw the way he speaks to me, 'cause that's something I brought up to them before.
Oh, okay.
And they saw like the way he started handling it. And I said, Robert, this is why. And I gave him like $8,000 in the life insurance money. And he said, oh, I felt like we should have got more.
Damn, what the fuck?
That was from my portion because I was a beneficiary.
Right.
I didn't have to give him anything.
That's true. That is very true.
I was like, see, I was like, niggas never gonna have nothing nice.
Truth.
That's why I said. That's why I'd be like, the shit that he says and the vicious and vindictive shit he say, and then the other nonsense type of shit that he be saying. That's why you. That's why I'm like, I'm good. I can't keep going back and forth with him. I got kids to raise. He doesn't feed me, doesn't clothe me, he doesn't cut my checks. He doesn't
Damn
do
right.
anything for me besides being my father's son.
Yikes,
And
Chris.
that's why I told her, like, that's not my brother. Because I said, your father was going online talking about, oh, my real blood sister and my real blood niece and nephew. I said, all right, now you trying to take shots at my kids now?
Damn.
Like, what is wrong with you? Like, and it was basically, and that's why she said, oh, he feel this way. I said, yeah, but that's only feelings. I was like, that's his reality. That's not everybody else's reality. I was like, Queenie, notice how it's six of us, right?
Right.
I say five because my other brother is bipolar and he's homeless and he's not all there.
Right.
But it's six of us. I was like, notice how four of the main adult ones, besides my brother bipolar, why are they all quote unquote on my side? Because the shit that your brother's doing is out of pocket. He's not justified for anything.
True. And that's the
So
crazy
instead of
part
him
about
just
it.
just sitting and waiting for some money to come his way, he's trying to figure out, oh, he should be getting more money.
Right.
I'm just like, you can't make, and then tell me you're not money hungry. I'm like, just stop.
Yeah. Yeah. That's signs of money hungry right there.
That's what I'm saying. And I told my niece, I was like, yeah, I said, but Queenie, but understand that this is all about money.
Yeah.
This is what he's upset about. He's
Hmm.
upset about the fact that I'm adopted
Yeah.
and I shouldn't have been nowhere near the amount of control of anything that had anything to do with his father
Hmm.
in general. Because that's the message that he also sent. He said he felt like the older blood relatives should have been the one that was in charge of things, not the adopted ones. I don't care how anybody quote in parentheses, I don't care how anyone takes that. That's just the reality. No,
Oh, damn.
that's an old traditional like
So that's how
way of
he's
thinking.
yeah. So if he said it that way, yeah, that's crazy.
That's the way he said it. And then I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah, but I'm like, but you chose to not be around for like fucking like 7 to 8 years.
yeah.
You chose not to be there in his life. You
Mm-hmm.
wasn't coming around even before then. You wasn't checking up on him. You wasn't taking him doctor visits. You wasn't doing this. You wasn't like I was there. So
Mm-hmm.
why would he put you in charge of anything on his death bed or even before then if you didn't have no type of relationship with him like that?
Correct.
You just started making a relationship with him the year my mom died because you basically knew he came into some money and you wanted some.
Literally, that's why. That's legitimately why. Because the timing is all
It's
coincidental.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
because he didn't start talking to my dad like until months after my mom died.
oh, damn.
He didn't call him and send condolences, nothing. And he knew the same, like he knew within 4 hours because I called all of them at this. I called all of them. I called Rob first.
Mhm.
Then I called Tanal. Then I called Bernard. And then I called David. Then he didn't pick up, and I called Dorothy. That was my mom's best friend. I called her best friend, Karen. And then I tried to call him again, like around 9 or 10 o'clock, and that's when he picked up. And I told him what happened. And then eventually, when Adam came by, that's my brother was bipolar. When he came by the house, I ended up telling him.
I see.
So it was just like you found out when everybody else found out, and it took you like what 6 months, 7 months to get back to him because I think he started talking back to him like October because he came over that Thanksgiving, and he
Damn.
had never been back another Thanksgiving.
Damn. Especially from that. Nah, that's crazy.
And I was like, see,
That's how exactly how
tell
you
me you're not
know.
money hungry
Yep.
without telling me you're not money hungry.
Yep. That's exactly how you know it's money hungry. Nah, that's freaking wild. Yeah, I know we got stories for days for a fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we should sit down and conversate about this. Like, I'm gonna talk about my life. We talk about each other's lives and shit like that. Cause I feel like it's a roller coaster when it comes to family in general.
Yeah, for real. I just chose to be an active family member this year.
Man, this year. Yeah.
I'll be tapping out sometimes. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sit this year out because y'all be doing too fucking much.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But I just chose this year, like, you know what, I'm gonna put however I feel from childhood to we
Mm,
all adults now. Nobody really did anything to me.
right.
Like, let me just go and just be an active participant.
No, yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah, it took me a while too to be like actually take my pride aside and actually talk to my aunt, which I call her my sister, but she's actually my in real life she's actually my aunt. Um, but yeah,
Oh,
it's just my family's just since I found out I have a sister that I never met at all, and
oh
then
no.
yeah,
Are you gonna meet her?
I've never met her. I don't even know I don't know her name, how she looks like.
You gotta do a DNA test.
Yeah,
You gotta do was that ancestry or 23andMe or something like that?
yeah, I even got on what's that? Heritage or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
I even got on that to see if any family members, reach out because anybody from my mother's side, I have no idea. I don't even have a picture of my mom. I don't know how she looks like, or who she is, It's just
Oh,
crazy to me because I've always asked for that, and then my aunt, she kept a lot of stuff from me until I got older, and that's when she told me everything, And then once my grandmother passed away, right before her passing away, she told me, "Oh yeah, you have a sister. She's somewhere. We don't know who, where she's at." But that's literally my mother's side. I don't know. My father's side is the one that's been involved the whole time, but I do not know my my mother's side at all. So it's like I know bits and pieces because I've like when they told me stuff, I was angry and I was just like, you know what,
mm,
fuck yeah, like I rebelled, I
mm-hmm.
completely rebelled because I'm just like thinking to myself, why would you tell me this? Like, you tell me after, like, I didn't find out who my father was until his deathbed. So it was
Oh
just
no.
like the minute he was about to die, they told me, yeah, he's your dad. And then all this, mind you, I was calling him my brother the whole time. And he will always tell me, stop calling me your brother, I'm your father. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, right. You're not my father. You're my brother. Because that's how my grandmother grew me up, and my sister or my aunt grew me up as. She told me, oh yeah, they told me, that's your yes, you have two brothers and one sister. And then I grew up thinking that until I got older. I didn't, what, 18, 19? That's when they told me the truth. And then it took me so long to like get over that. And I'm in my 40s now and I'm still pissed, you know? And
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's hard.
yeah.
It's hard to move past things like that. Like sometimes, like the older generation, they think that they're doing the right thing and stuff
Hmm.
like that, but they don't really understand. Like in the long run, you can say that when like 7, 8, but then when they start getting to like being able to see things and being an adult, it's just like now, like you're gonna be hurting more. That might
Yep.
have been cool in the beginning, like so you don't confuse the child and things like that.
Yeah.
But like it's just like a lot of times they like always been going on for so long, like the lie, they don't know how to break it. They don't know how to stop it.
Right. And it's true because, at the end of the day, like, I understand they were trying to protect me from them because, my dad was always in and out of jail and we would always go visit
Hmm.
and all this other stuff. But to have them, I put myself in my dad's shoes now and be like, damn, all this time I was calling him my brother, and then he died.
Oh yeah, how he felt. Yeah, like
Yeah.
damn.
He died not knowing that me knowing he's my brother and actually my father, and
Yeah, that
in
shit is wild.
his mind, I'm pretty sure it was like, fuck, it's like I'm gone, and is he still gonna know who I really am to him,
Yeah.
because it's like he passed away not knowing that I know now, I didn't find out until after, like right there on the spot in the funeral. I found out. I gotta, they put me to the side and they told me, oh yeah, we gotta tell you something. He was actually your father. And I'm just like, are you dead ass you seriously gonna say this
At the funeral.
at the funeral? I'm just like, okay, cool, cool. He's my dad. All right, cool. And then
I
my,
said right here, right now.
yeah,
This is what we doing.
this is what
What
we
we doing,
doing.
family.
Okay, cool. So that's when my respect and my everything that I had for them went away, and then
Yeah, they gotta build that back up. I
yeah.
mean, it might be a lot of conversations that need to be had so
Hmm.
people can get closure and stuff like that. But it's
Yeah.
more of like whenever you move past it, it's when you move past it. It's not like they can't be like, oh my God, this happened like years ago. Not over it yet. Like, oh,
Hmm.
like this punch in the face
Right, yeah.
you're about to get. Like,
Yep.
no, I'm not fucking over it.
It's
And if
true.
you want to keep having a conversation with me in the long run, you better shut the fuck up.
Facts. Exactly. So that's
It's
that's
just
where
like,
that's
the
where I'm
fuck are
at
you
now,
telling me? Like, no, bitch, you get over it.
Yeah, word. It's like, okay,
Don't
yeah.
worry, you can because they didn't fucking lie to you, bitch.
Yep, exactly.
Like
Exactly.
for real.
So,
People like that's what I say. When you say shit like that, then people like, oh my God. Why would you say I'm like, because you didn't obviously didn't understand it when I first fucking told you my feelings were hurt, bitch.
mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
obviously didn't understand it when I said it like that. So now I gotta say it like this. Because now you get my point, right? So now guess what? Now I'm not the only one mad.
Yep.
Yo, I'm so fucking I'm so bad.
Yeah, but
I
it's
be
some
saying that shit to
truth.
people in real life. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no. Like you gonna give me a step now, bitch, guess what? Now you gonna be mad too.
Yep. There you
You
go.
all just gonna sit up here and be upset. Now I'm gonna give you first of all, I don't even want to talk to you. Now I'm gonna give you a reason not to talk to me.
Yeah. And it's
Like
funny because out of all these years, like my once my grandmother passed away, and like she told me that, and I was just like, all right, I felt a little bad, but I had rebelled already, because my feelings were already hurt, so they didn't hurt as much when she passed away because I was angry. And
hmm
then my grandfather, you see, he's still alive, but my grandfather, he's like 80 years old right now. So he's, I was raised by both of them. I was raised by my grandmother and my grandfather. And then my aunt raised me until she was about 17 or 18, and she left the house. And then, from there, it was just them two. So it was, and then my dad and my uncle were always in and out of jail. So I hardly saw them. So it was just like, it was literally just me and them two. And then, once my grandmother got sick, and then my grandfather went to jail for fucking doing some dumb shit.
Too
he
old to be going to jail for dumb shit.
Yeah, his Guyanese ass went to go. He did some dumb shit and then went to jail for like 8 years or some shit.
Oh
So
no, that's too long.
yeah, that was way too long. So I stood there taking care of my grandmother, and then until he got out of jail. So, but by that time I was ready. They already told me what happened, so I was already pissed, and that's when I rebelled. I went ahead, got my baby mom's knocked out, knocked up, and then fucking I was only fucking 18 at that time, so I was already like fucking leaving the house doing dumb shit, and I would come back rebelling like I'm gonna fuck what curfew you gave me, whatever the fuck you did, tell me, because it's like you didn't give a fuck about my feelings, how I would feel about that, so I didn't give a fuck about your feelings at all.
Fuck your curfew. Let
Yep,
me
fuck your
stop.
curfew. Yep,
Fuck
here.
your couch, nigga.
Yep,
Fuck your
and here
couch.
now you're a great grandmama. There you go.
We were like, fuck your couch.
Fuck your couch. So yeah, then that happened, and then once I rebelled and my my grandmother passed away, that's when my aunt was telling me bits and pieces about, oh yeah, you have a sister out there too. We don't know her name or where she's at, but you have another sibling. And then that's when I found out, she told me a little bit. She always tells me little bits and pieces about my mother. And I'm just like, okay, do you have a picture? Do you have anything? Because I have nothing. I don't know how she like, who she looks like, or
Yeah, it's like why y'all don't want to say what's that? Like, was your mom young? Were they young when they had you?
yeah, she
That's
she
like,
told me that. She told me she was 15 when she had me, and
yeah, that's usually how it works. Like when that's when they start saying like, oh, this is your brother, or this is usually
yeah,
like the kids are young when that happens. I was watching this guy do a TikTok,
mhm,
and he was talking about how his aunt was his mom. He was just like that's because I think he was trying to go to Canada or something, and they needed all this paperwork.
mhm,
And then that's when he was like, oh, like he had wrote down his grandmother's name on the on the on the mother part of the birth certificate.
mhm,
And then they called him and they were like, we just have some discrepancies like with the information you put and the information that we have like with your birth certificate. And he found out it was his sister that was his mom's. And then he realized like, oh shit, wait, my niece and my nephew are my brothers
mm,
and stuff like that. And then it became this, and he was like, he basically was saying like he low key hated his sister, so
yeah,
that means he hated his mother, and like then like it doesn't become oh I love you because you're my mom and you're a piece of shit, but I gotta love you anyway. It
right,
becomes like oh I hate you as a person. That
right.
shit is wild.
I agree. That's hard right there. Yeah,
That means I don't like you as a person. Because he's like, oh, we don't have no dealings. I don't really talk with her like that. We haven't spoken in like 2 years and stuff like that.
yeah,
And I'm like, damn, like, how y'all ever gonna bridge that gap? He
yeah.
doesn't have those maternal feelings for her
It's
and
true.
stuff like that. He says she's a shitty ass person. He said that himself. He's like, she's a shitty person.
Hmm. And that's the hard part to get
And
away from. You can't. That's something you can't just snap your fingers and be like, yeah, I love you again. It definitely is. It hurts both ways. And it's
yeah,
like,
and he was saying that his mom had him when she was like 16 and stuff like that.
yeah,
And his father was like 17 at the time. And
hmm,
they couldn't take care of him. And the father didn't even know he existed. And he found his father through like a DNA thing. And
mm,
they were like they found like a strand, and then they found a person. They was like, okay, it's a cluster of like cousins and shit like that. And then they had to narrow it down. And it was like, oh, it has to be this person. And then he reached out to him, and his father surprised him, said like, oh, he was like, oh, he was like, I aged so much. He was like, I got a son and a grandson in one day and stuff like that. And he was willing to meet up with him with open arms. And he's like, he didn't know and stuff like that. And it was like, cause they'll move you out of the whole state and shit.
yeah.
Like, like
That's
before
yeah,
cell phones was a thing and shit.
yeah.
Like they'll
Hell
move you out the
yeah.
whole fucking state.
That's
You had
true.
to write numbers down on a piece of paper and shit,
Yeah, yeah. You're
or
right.
memorize it.
Fucking yellow books. Remember that shit too.
Yeah, for real. Looking niggas up in the yellow pages.
Yep. Like
I remember
shit.
that shit. The
Hell
yellow
yeah.
pages and the white pages coming to the
Yep.
crib. Like we need a plumber. Who the white
Hell
pages
yeah.
at?
That big ass book. I'm like, goddamn.
Yeah, we just drop that shit on your doorstep. Oh
Yep.
Lord. But
It's
yeah, and then and I was like, yeah, that shit always happens when the parents are really young
yeah.
and they have to try to integrate the child into the family
Hmm.
and not give away stuff. Like some people will know, but believe me, those type of secrets, it'd be funny because like some niggas can't hold water for nothing, but they'll hold the fuck out of that secret.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
they won't say that shit, but they be loose with the mouth about other shit.
Yep.
But they won't say nothing.
Yeah, because it's funny because
They was
when I was cleaning the house when I was young, I was cleaning the house and I remember vividly this memory because it kind of that's where the spark hit. You know, it was like I was cleaning the house and then I saw some papers and it said my mother's name, my real mother's name, and then it said my dad's name, and then I'm like, okay, I saw my dad's name. I'm like, all right, who the hell is this chick? And then when I saw my name on there, it was a complete different name. And then I saw my grandmother's name, and then it said in you know adoption papers to me, to her. So they had, since they were young, I'm guessing, my grandmother fought for me to have me, and then since they were always on in and out of drugs and all this other stuff, so I guess
hmm
she felt the need to take me in, so she went to court, I believe, and then that's the papers that I saw. So the court papers there that said my parents' name and her name there, and then but when you're young, it don't click. When I saw those
Yeah.
papers when I was like 12 years old, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is. I'm just put it to the side,
Yeah, for
whatever.
real. Then when you get older and you look back, you're like, damn, that shit makes sense now.
Yep, that all makes sense now. Literally,
Because that
it
shit,
all made sense.
because that's the same thing happened to my daughter's father. Like his grandmother adopted him
Mm,
because his
yep,
mom was on drugs. Like all her fucking kids were on drugs. I'm not gonna hold you.
right.
Like she had a set of twins, which is Michael's mother and Jan. Jan died,
Mm,
and he had Sonia, Deborah, and that it. Sonia and Deborah. Yeah, it was four of them. They all were on crack. All of them.
mm.
I said, oh my God, not all of them.
Damn,
Like,
that's
yeah,
hard.
every single one, they were on crack and stuff like that. And like, she tested positive when she was pregnant with Michael's brother,
Right.
which is the last child that she had. And they took, they took Dane and Michael, and his grandmother took them and adopted them.
Mm,
Like she
mm.
lost custody of her other two girls that she had. They went to somebody that actually lived in the same building as his grandmother, but then she ended up moving to North Carolina. So now that's where she lives at in North Carolina, next to one of her daughters because the other one had passed away in 2021. Like she like nobody really knows. Like
Mm.
toxicology came back and everything was fine,
Yeah.
but like she drove into a tree
Oh, damn.
and like died on impact. So like she didn't have like no
Damn.
drugs or no liquor in her body. So
So it was just
and
sporadic.
but yeah, like she either maybe she fell asleep
Yeah.
or maybe she hit the curb because when they don't have those railings and stuff on there,
Yeah, I
you
agree.
you hit your tire, go off the road a little bit, and it'll go into like it's like a space between that and the dirt,
Correct.
and
Yeah.
then you just veer off, and lose control.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then his brother killed himself, the Dane, the younger one, and it was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's a lot
And
too.
then they found him. I was like, I could never imagine. I was like, I probably will. I really feel like my life probably will fall apart into pieces
To
if I was to
find,
see something like that. You see
yeah,
that shit in movies, but to see like
in real
somebody
life.
like
Yeah.
yeah, but his cousin found him. Like they all lived in the grandmother's apartment in Fort Greene. Like
Damn.
the cousin like came into the bathroom.
Mm,
Like Dane was in the bathroom for so long, and I think he shimmy opened the door,
mm.
and he was hanging there like off the shower railing,
Fuck.
and like he had blood coming out of his mouth and shit like that. And they was trying
Damn.
to bring him back, but he was
Yeah.
gone. Then I think like 5 o'clock in the morning, I got that phone call. I was like, oh my God.
Damn. I
It was
come.
just so sad. The grandmother was still alive at that time and everything, but his grandmother died like a month after my mother died.
Damn.
Yeah, 2020 was a bad year for everybody.
Shit, man.
But
All that happened recently, which is crazy to me. You know, that's a lot of
yeah,
stuff
because even
happening.
me, being
Yeah.
adopted. I wanted to do the 23andMe thing, and I was just like, you know what? I don't even want those type of problems
Correct. Yeah.
because I was just like, I can't stand the family I do got,
Yeah.
and so I'm not trying to pick up another one.
Yeah. I
I
don't
don't
blame
know
you.
if that's selfish in me. I don't know if I should go looking.
I mean,
I don't. I don't. I don't really know,
yeah.
but I think I'll know when I know,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's
Like I don't know if I should.
like me. Like right now, like me knowing what I know now, I do want to search for answers and stuff like that because it's like, you know, we only live once and time is short. So it's like I'd rather know now before my deathbed, and then
Yeah.
before it's too late. And
Like even if you just know, and maybe even if you don't actively like participate in it, meaning like if you get the information and you don't have to reach out if you don't feel comfortable or you don't want to,
mm-hmm,
but at least you have that information to be like, oh, I know that this person
mm-hmm,
is like this and this person. So, it's good to just know, just for you to have closure to know.
yeah,
You don't have to act on it if you don't want to
yeah,
and stuff like that.
that's true.
Cause like
Cause
my parents lied to me all the whole time. Like
mm-hmm.
I like asked them, I called my mother and I was like, Ma, are you sure you're my mom? Because like my birth certificate like has my name
mm-hmm,
and it has my parents' name on it.
mm-hmm,
And then like, but when I went to Social Security office,
mm-hmm,
I had a different name
yep,
and it was a different name underneath my mother.
yeah. That's how I found out too. Fucking
Yeah, so like
crazy.
my real name is my birth name is Shania,
Mm-hmm.
like Shania Twain. I was like, oh my God.
Nah.
And my parents changed my name to Ebony. So like I didn't really like I don't like I felt like when they were telling me this information for some reason I felt like I was blacking out. Like
Yeah, yeah,
like I was just like I heard certain things and stuff like that
right.
and I just started like zoning out.
Yeah.
And then so like I called my mother, I asked her that, she's like, and then I called my brother's giving me these stupid ass vague information.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. You gonna have to ask them, bitch, you're older than me, you know.
Yep. You know.
Stop
Stop
fucking playing
playing.
with me.
Yep.
And then so I'm just like, oh, okay, all right, because best believe I am gonna ask them. I get in the house, I sit them down, I said, am I adopted? Just tell me.
Right.
And then my dad looks at my mom, and my mom looks at him, and they were like, yeah. And
They're
I'm
like,
like,
it's
oh,
time.
okay. Yeah, I'm like, okay. No, 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 no. My dad's like, I'm like, oh, okay. My dad was like, yeah, because I was never gonna tell you.
Oh damn.
This nigga here, like,
Damn.
I was like, this nigga here. No, he said that like 3 times throughout the conversation. Like he dead ass was my whole family knew it. Nobody never said nothing.
Oh
My
shit.
cousin said something to me one time in an argument, and
Mm.
she's like 1 year younger than me. That means somebody was talking. She's the mad.
Mm.
She's like, oh, you're not even my real cousin anyway. You're adopted. Blah 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 blah. I thought she was just talking shit.
Right, right,
So I didn't
right,
really pay her no attention, but I did get the inkling that I was because like both of my parents are like high yellow
right.
and I'm dark. So like,
Mm.
and I don't really look like them. So I always like had a thought. So especially since I know they adopted my brother Adam.
Mm.
So I'm like, they do adopt kids. They are foster parents and stuff like that. Maybe I was adopted, but they were like, oh no, da 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 da. But then they told me, and then my mother was like, oh, so that is that why you haven't been listening to me recently? I was like, no, I just don't want to fucking do what you tell me to. That's why. What are you talking about? Because mind you, I was like 20. I think I was 21.
Mm.
No, I was 22. And I told them like, I'm like, I was like, I told him like, I was like, oh, all right. I was like, I don't care about none of that.
Mm.
I was like, that stuff don't matter to me. Y'all my parents.
Yeah, true that. True that.
Then my mom started crying and shit. I'm like, what are you
Mm.
crying for, ma? What are you crying for?
Yeah.
Please explain to me why you shedding tears.
Yep.
Because that's the way I was. I was like, ma, will you cut that shit out, please, Jesus?
Exactly.
And then I was just like, I was upset because I was upset at the fact that they didn't say nothing before I had my daughter because I'm like, I'm telling them all the medical problems that you have. They're not
Mm.
testing for the unknown. And that's what I was mad about. Because I'm like, what happened if something was to happen when I was pregnant and they could have tested for something and they didn't?
Right.
And and now something bad could happen to me or my child because y'all decided y'all wanted to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, that's
That's what I
true.
was more upset about,
I agree.
like medical wise.
Mm-hmm.
But other, I was like, I had a good life. Like,
Mhm.
was it perfect? No. But, I
Mhm.
lived in a house all my life.
Yeah.
I was in the hood, so that didn't really matter too much.
Right.
But like, we had a pool at one point. My parents were good people. They didn't abuse me. My mother would beat the shit out of us, though, low key. But
Yeah.
they didn't abuse us. I wasn't sexually abused by nobody.
Yeah.
And so like, I said I could look at it like, cause my real mother, she died. She died. My mother said she died when I was 2, but she had 8,
Yeah.
and so, and she
That,
said she didn't know who the father was. So
uh,
I was like, well, I think about it like, I was like, I can't. I'm like, I just imagine what my life could have been like?
yeah.
Like she was a crack whore. I always say, like, oh, that crack whore, like the crack whore, like she could have sold me for some rock.
Right. Right. Right.
Like so Tyrone selling niggas houses and shit for rock.
Yeah. You're right.
Um,
You're right. Yeah,
so my whole thing was
that's
like,
true. Mhm.
I'm content. I'm happy. I don't have nothing to complain about. It wasn't like I had a hard knock life to a
Right.
certain degree.
Right.
I did have things that happened in my life that happens when you grow up and stuff like that, but nothing like family wise that would like
Oh,
on that
word.
part scar me. Other shit scarred me in real life, but
Oh, yeah.
not
Yeah.
my family, not my parents or anything like that or my siblings. So that's why
Yeah.
I was just like, what am I to be upset about?
Yeah.
I was
Because
like, what am I would be angry about? That gave me a good life. And I was like, and then they was just like, they was surprised. I was just like, all right. And I was like, enough of this Disney shit. Like, I'm gonna go play video games.
yeah.
That's
There you
exactly
go.
what I did and left.
That's
And
true,
that
though.
conversation was done, and we never spoke about it after that.
Oh, okay. Good. That's really good. Yeah. That's really good. So
Yeah,
that's
because I'm
that's
not the type to
how.
hold grudges and just leave shit alone.
Yeah. Because that's what that was with me. Like, I know my real mom passed away when I was like 5 or 6,
Oh no,
and
condolences.
yeah, so it's like she died of the same thing. She died from AIDS as well. That much I do know because my dad died from AIDS as well, and it's crazy to me because I was just like I have vivid memory of her giving me something, but I was like fucking 4 years old, you know. So and then she was like 17, 18 at the time. So she had me super young. She had me like when she was 14 or 15 years old, and then she had my other sibling, which I don't know anything about yet either, but she had her a year after me. So it's like, she's literally a year younger than me. And so when she came by, I remember vividly seeing another baby, but I just don't, that's hard to like go
Hmm.
back. Um, but yeah, I have no pictures, and obviously that's why now I cherish pictures a lot more now than anything before. Because back in the fucking 80s and 90s, we didn't think about pictures being, like the biggest thing in the world. It was just like something in the moment. And
Yeah,
then once you had a camera, you were like big shot. You know what I'm saying? You were like, yeah, you're the shit if you had a camera back then.
yeah, them Kodak
Yup.
disposable
Hell
cameras.
yeah. Yep. But then we never thought about like sharing memories or doing any of that stuff because we were always living on the go. We never lived in the moment where, yeah, let's take a picture here, for old time's
Yeah, and
sakes.
that's crazy because my dad has like books and pictures all over the house. Like
Mm,
he loves pictures. But then it was just like I never understood his obsession with the pictures and stuff like that.
right.
And then I was like, but then now like my parents are gone and I'm like, well, I don't even have pictures. I don't even have any pictures of me and my mom together.
Right.
Like like recently since like smartphones were created. Like I
Oh
don't
shit.
have anything of like I have one picture like when me and my dad was flying
Mm,
to North Carolina to visit my brother for the first time. Like when he went. So I have a picture of us together, but and I have like stupid pictures around the house with me and him, but I don't that was like one picture, like, we both look good and we took the picture and stuff like that. And it was just like now I'm like, well, what pictures do I have with Kira? Like, what are
mm,
pictures of me and just me and her? What is she gonna how's she gonna remember me? What
right.
about these moments? Now I can see his obsession with it.
Yeah.
And it's more to look back and be remembered.
Yep. That's the same thing with me. Like I take pictures and videos of my son, my daughter, like crazy. Because, those moments I never had, I want them to have it just in case something ever happens to me,
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
And that's
I have a picture when Kira was 4, like a
yeah.
video of her first day of school and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
I was like, look, this is how you used to be. And a couple of videos when she got like 8 and she started recording herself, making little videos, like kind of doing nows
Yeah.
and shit. So I'd be like, oh, look at you. Look at these times that you had. Look at the things that you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, oh, when I'm in high school and I'm like that. And I'm like, look, now you in high school.
Yep. There you go.
And I'll be like, see, I say, this is why I be trying to, when we go out on our little excursions, I try to take pictures with her and stuff like that. But, she at the age of like, mommy, get out of here.
Yeah. My daughter be the same way. She's like, no, no pictures. I'm like, nah, just think of me a paparazzi. That's all. Just think of me a paparazzi. You're the star. You're the star. You're the star of the show. Cause yeah, that right there, just like it improved my relationship with my kids because I was like, I want them to know who they are. Even though they have two different baby mamas, they know who they are. They
Yeah.
they live across the street from each other. They can go visit each other whenever they want.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like they are right across the street from each other. So that's what I love about that. Like they still in New York, but they keep in contact with each other. They communicate with each other. So it's like that bond right there is what I want them to have. I don't want them to feel like, oh, since it's two different mothers, it's going to be a difficult situation. But no, it's definitely not going to be like that.
But that's amazing. That's why people like, oh, how do you have this thing with your family and stuff like that? I was like, wait on my baby dad.
Yeah,
I'd be
that's true.
like, I was like, listen, I'm not dealing with the bullshit. That's
True.
just, that's just how it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you on fuck time, then you gotta stay where you at.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's facts. Hey, Complex. Well, it's
That's why
getting
we all.
late,
That's why we all
love.
get it. Oh yeah, sure. Oh shit, my bad. Yeah, it is. All right,
Yeah, I'm about to get
get
my
some
ass to
sleep.
sleep.
You gotta go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right, bundle up.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm definitely bundling up because that weather is crazy. This weather is really
Yeah,
crazy right now. But
yeah.
yeah,
I'm gonna go
love.
look outside in a little bit, see if it's still snowing.
Yeah, and stay safe out there.
I will. Thanks. I'll catch you tomorrow.
You know it.
Well,
Catch you
later
tomorrow.
on today, so maybe.
Yeah, you know it. You have a great day.
You too.
Hit you up on the group chat.
Yeah, but Terrell gonna be going through it. He gonna be over here.
Mm-hmm.
We got swollen head now.
Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
take this nigga nowhere.
Oh
He
my
don't know how to
God.
act
You don't know how to act.
at all.
All right, love. Well, have a good night.
All right. You too.
All right.
Good
Bye bye.
night.
Good night. All right. Wow. Yeah. So that was a very strong conversation. Something I definitely want to have with you guys on the Chad's Motion podcast. This is basically an unscripted motion. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next stream or video. And so yeah, stay blessed, stay safe, and stay humble out there. It's a crazy world. Much love. Thank you guys for tuning in too. Bye. Catch you later. You still here?